Good morning, everyone, and a very warm welcome to Ultimate Pool TV. Another weekend of action about to get underway here. Another weekend of action from the Amateur Championships. Last week we saw John Egan come through in a very fine match in the group final against Christy Colford. We got another 6 players all looking to join him in the finals weekend. Let's take a look at the lineup for this weekend. 2 days of action, and these are the 6 guys that will be playing. Toby Bolt, Greg Casey, Scott Kennedy, Neil Madigan, Kevin McQueenie and Bradley Parker. 3 Irishmen, a Scotsman and 2 Englishmen will battle it out this weekend. They'll all play each other once in the first day and a half or so. Top 4 after that will go through and do it all again. Points are level, then it will be a 6 red shootout. Frame difference doesn't matter at all. And we are just about ready for our first match. We've got 12 matches coming to you today. There is the Irishman, Neil Madigan. He's going to get us underway here. Quick word to say, if you are watching us here on Facebook and you'd like to enjoy the rest of the show once we get through the first hour or 2, then you come across to Ultimate Pool TV. Use your promo code AC2 and get a discount on your first month. Plenty to enjoy with Ultimate Pool TV as well. Obviously the Amateur Championships this weekend, but so much coming up. Pro Series in only a couple of weeks away now. Big events coming up towards the end of the year and beyond, so it's well worth subscribing. Kevin McQueenie is the opponent for Neil Madigan, so it is an all-Irish battle in our first match this morning. As always, it's with the Amateur Championships, we never really know what to expect with the groups. Some players we've seen before, some players we're seeing for the first time. And I think it plays out for a fascinating weekend as everyone will battle it out, trying to get themselves into that top 4. Matches are races to 6, 30 minutes on the match clock. Final 10 minutes will be played at 15 seconds a shot. And of course, the Golden Breaks, Golden Ducks are in play. We had 2 last weekend, that was it. We are up and running with a dry break from Kevin. It means that Neil Madigan will get the first opportunity. We've seen Neil play a few times for Ireland and in the pairs as well. First time I'm seeing Kevin McQueenie. Looking forward to seeing what he can do. So reds then, the choice for Kevin, and a good layout this to get going with, as it was in the Players' Championship, which follows this follows the same format as the Amateur Players' Championships essentially. Then we talked a lot about the first match being so important. Yes, you get to play 5 matches and you just need to finish in the top 4, but if you get off to a slow start, the pressure can build and build throughout the competition, whereas if you get off to a good start, then you can just start to play and get into rhythm, and then it can feel an awful lot easier. So the first frame, the first match, very important for these players. Important it gets a good angle on the next red. Never ideal when you've got 2 balls next to each other like this to play one to the other. And he's got probably a turn too much angle on this one, and the reason I say that, the little bump into the 8 ball will hold on to the red, but where are you going to send the 8 ball to? Every chance you could put the 8 ball safe here, and if he was a touch straighter, you almost just rest into the 8 ball rather than, or don't move it at all. shot. That's okay. He did play the nudge on the 8 and it's worked out. Just got a little bit too much angle on this red to the bottom left, but he should be able to die it in dead weight and hold the cue ball. Yeah, very nice start from Kevin McQueenie. Try break, but gifted an opportunity following the miss from Neil Madigan, and Kevin starts with an excellent clearance. That will really settle him into this match. Neither Neil or Kevin are playing on the Challenger Series this year, so got no recent form, certainly with Ultimate Pool, to reference, but good to see them both out there. Having missed his first opportunity, Neil Madigan will be keen to give himself a second and get going himself this morning. Well, it's a successful break. It's not the best of layouts, but certainly make a good case for yellows here, because the only ball that's a bad one is the 8 ball. It may be in a position where you can double it, but you've got 2 yellows that are just primed to play as breakers. Would have been tempted to come a little bit further down the table, create a little bit more angle when playing the breakout shot, because you want that 8 ball to move, because right centre's blocked off as well. Well, it was blocked off, and that hasn't helped. For a second there, I thought it was going to work out perfectly, and it was going to sit right over the centre pocket, but now it's gone far worse. It won't go into the right centre, and it's now a problem to solve. Can he get underneath the yellow on that's nearest the cue ball now, or the one nearest the triangle area, and play that off the 8 ball or red? Maybe the way.
Extension, please.
Not ideal. I think that was an effort to play the yellow off the red by the 8 ball, not to be. That kind of visit went wrong from the very second shot, where he tried to play the breakout and didn't quite work. Let's open things up, but this next shot's now a big one. I think the two reds are in a position, if they're not set as a straight plant, they're certainly makeable. There's enough gap between the two of them. And this has been excellent to get to this stage. And that's gone wrong. Always tricky. It was difficult from where he was to play on the open red because it doesn't go left centre. And trying to play on a moving ball, very difficult. And that's not really going to work as a safety shot. I'm not sure entirely what he was trying to do. Maybe try and get a red on top of the yellow by the cue now and make that one awkward. He didn't have too many options, to be honest with you. Neil would like to have been a touch straight on the yellow to top left and then play the one in the middle last. If he plays the one in the middle now, he's got to avoid the reds. If he plays this one, he's got to make sure he doesn't let the reds come into play as blockers, and the natural makes them blockers. And they are in the way. Oh, both Kevin and Neil stand to get invested in this one. Yeah, excellent shot. And Neil Madigan is on the board. Both frames, or both players I should say, are safely up and running in this match, and I'll feel a lot happier, especially spurning his first couple of chances in the match. Now that he's taken one, can settle into the weekend. Missed opportunity perhaps from Kevin, but it's a very long weekend of action. Everybody plays 5 matches in the first stage. 4 of them will be played today. Everybody looking to try and get themselves into that top 4. Good record for Neil. Irish ranking champion back in 2015. Big part of the Irish international team from Limerick. Won the Limerick title 4 times as well.
Attention, please.
Not a layout that's very inviting for either player here. Oh, some pot that. Got the 8 ball flying around the table, but no harm done with it. How aggressive does he want to be from here? There's still problems in the bottom end of the table. Obviously still on the one top right. But if you leave that there, it may be blocking the 8 ball, but then the yellow probably could open it up, so it doesn't really help you much. So do you take this on guess the plant bottom right allows you to get into the problem area. Tries to fire in with pace, and well, that is going to work out well though. He's on the one right centre, so he can continue. Not the best of angles on it. Well, if that goes left centre, it's lovely. He's on one to right centre, but might be better on the one left centre because he wants to get straighter on the one to right centre or play on the plant. May have to go right centre, play a controlled cannon into the red just to knock it towards the bottom right corner pocket. Tried to use the cushion and get back to be on it instead, and that was always going to be tough. Margin of error of very little. Still on this, but cue ball's going to be running very loose.
Extension, please.
Missed opportunity then for Kevin. Got to punish the mistakes. And Neil's been gifted another chance at the table. So far from full flow for Neil Madigan, but he is in front as we approach the halfway point in this match. Keep an eye on the clock. I think it will certainly be in play for nearly every match. Whether the player gets to 6 or the clock comes in and stops the match will probably be about 50-50, but the last 10 minutes played at 15 seconds a shot. We're certainly going to see an awful lot of clock management required throughout the weekend. Something that will be new to most of the players, if not all of them. Neil has had some experience out there, certainly in the pairs. Cue ball, and that was by far his best break as well until, well, it's out of the two. He certainly drove more power through the pack on that occasion, but the cue ball always tracking to the top corner. And, well, having just made a poor mistake in the previous frame, this is exactly what Kevin McQueenie would have liked to have seen, as this is, well, just a lovely layout. Gone for the reds. I would say I really wouldn't want the red bottom right to be my last ball. Just don't want the yellow. You get a bad angle, those yellows could get in the way, and you might not be able to get behind the 8 ball. And okay, the 8 ball's all but hanging over the pocket, but it's one of those, if you don't give it a little bit of attention, could come back to bite you. And the way he's going about this, it looks like the red bottom right will be the last ball. It's not really a major problem, to be honest with you, but would have wanted the one he's just played perhaps to be the last one, but he can certainly make the one at the bottom work. Perhaps a little bit straighter on this than he wanted. I'm sure he would have wanted to track down and almost get to the top of the triangle area, just use the right hand side cushion then and float across, whereas from here can't do too much more than go forward or back, so stun it back to where it is now or try and top it through. He's gone to try and top it through and he has left a bad angle. It's really hard to get nicely on the 8-ball here. He just has to try and punch it out. You're not going to be able to get too far out, but leave yourself a thin clip in. Oh, he's not even on it. He's having to bend it. Continues to go from bad to worse for Kevin. Not sure the natural long cushion's there. You're certainly careful not to leave it. Try to straighten up with a lot of side. Unfortunately, overdid it. So that should be the snooker's done here. Neil should just be able to fly through and make the finish now. Hasn't worked this finish out particularly well for Neil. Never really wanted to leave this one on the bottom cushion last, and certainly didn't want to leave it from here. It's a tricky shot he's left himself. He is going to be clipping it into the same pocket as the 8-ball, so he might have some equity in the frame if he wasn't to make it, but it's the last thing he wanted to do. Cue ball. Oh, disaster. And I say disaster. He still has some equity in the frame. Because the yellow sat over the pocket, this is still very difficult for Kevin to work out what's best to do. Looks like he's just going to go all out for the double. If he does take the double on, well worth playing the loss of turn at the same time. Leave the cue ball in the bottom corner of the table. You never know, you might get lucky and not leave much on. Oh, so close. And the worst possible outcome for it to come back towards the cue ball, leaving Neil Madigan with another opportunity. One which he makes. Always tricky situations that for Kevin. Difficult when you're got cue ball in hand, but haven't really got anything good you can do. Could play another snooker, you could, but that's not really going to do you any good. You can keep getting cue ball in hand, or eventually Neil would make the yellow. I guess then it would give Neil the tricky shot. And I think on the balance of things, I don't really mind the shot he played. It just got very, very close to making it. Didn't quite drop in. Good junior record for Kevin. Twice an Irish under-23 champion and also an under-18 champion. Qualified through this event in the qualifying over in Ireland, as did Neil Madigan and Greg Casey, actually. 3 Irish players in action this weekend. Kevin McQueenie, the youngest of our players, playing this weekend as well. As we move into the final 10 minutes, 15 seconds a shot from here on in. Seconds a shot here might in a strange way help Kevin McQueenie, because just since that first visit to the table, well, I say it might help him, he's just been caught out a little bit there. He actually played a very good shot. Since his first visit to the table, where he made a really nice clearance, he's just struggled a little bit out there, and just maybe speeding up, allowing yourself just to flow and not overthink things might help. Certainly going through this finish nicely. Left a good angle here. Natural just drifts up towards the other yellow and therefore the gap. Very nice. Yeah, very nice indeed. Just what Kevin McQueenie needed at the right time. As we get into the 15 seconds a shot, comes up with a break clearance, gets back within 1 and keeps himself very much alive in this match. He could sit there and think about all the chances he's thrown away, but chooses not to and focus on the clearances he could still make. Neil Madigan's made his own errors in the match, but has been gifted enough second chances to earn this advantage. But this is about the time he really needs to find his best and come up with a response. Keep Kevin at arm's length. Oh, what a break that is. What a break that is. The 8-ball flying, everything flying. Similar to break 1 for him though. The split is not great. But 7:22 on the clock here. Do you want to chase a bad finish, or do you want to try and control a tactical frame here? Wait for a better opportunity. Maybe try and ask Kevin to chase a bad finish. Looks like Neil fancies it. He has been aggressive today. This yellow must go past the 8-ball. I think it would help him if he could just move the 8-ball a little bit away from the cushion, like that. Oh, it's a beautiful shot. That's very nice indeed. Now, can you just top past the red? No, you not actually get past the red, but top it so you're top side of the red on the break line. And you've got that one out of the way, because that's also a tricky ball to land on. Difficult to tell whether he's on it or not, but he can also go left centre and then take it top right because it passes the 8-ball both ways. It does mean leaving the one at the bottom of the table late, which isn't ideal. That's lovely. Little soft screw shot, just allow the spin to take. Oh, all that hard work. All the hard work. Just needed potting for all square. This should be the opportunity Neil's looking for to make it 4-2. Choosing to take the reds by the 8-ball first. So this is the one to come down the table. Not a particularly good line here. Just squeezes by the red. This time the line, tracking from bottom to top, is perfect. 4-2 it is. What a missed opportunity once again from Kevin McQueenie. Enough chances to have been ahead in this match rather than 2 behind.
Minutes break. Carry 4 frames to 2.
3:33. Desperate times here for Kevin. Got the 8-ball moving. He'd love to have seen that track and maybe find a pocket. But he does make a ball and he has a chance. Not a good chance, but he needs to take it on with the time remaining.
Extension, please.
No matter how tough, you've got to try and make a finish here. That's all Neil Madigan needs to do. Just slow it down. The other thing he didn't do there, which he probably should have done and could have done, was use his extension. But can use it now. No advantage to playing quickly here. He can take on a finish. Every shot needs to be played on the beeps. Decides not to take on the finish, and now he's handed an opportunity to Kevin McQueenie. He needs to go quick here because it's Neil Madigan's break, but he's been handed a chance. I'm really shocked that Neil didn't try and clear up there. They were all on. He was on the one that he played. He could have taken that centre, or he could have gone top right. He had options. Maybe inviting some pressure here. If Kevin can just get out and leave a minute and a half. Just come back too far. Just when Kevin McQueenie's needed that one shot, or just that little bit of calm, or that little bit of precision on the finish, he's just come unstuck, and that's happened pretty much consistently through the match. Finally, Neil decides to call the extension. Doesn't need to play this shot this quickly. Could have waited another 20 seconds there. It's not going to matter in the match, you wouldn't think, barring a miracle. That will be that. 13 seconds left. And that will be the match. First points on the board then this weekend, and they go to the Irishman, Neil McAdin. Excellent start for him. Maybe not his best form on the table, but kept being given extra chances, and he took enough of them to take the advantage and the points in this match. We move on though. Match 2 is on the way. Greg Casey and Scott Kennedy will be up after this short break.
...2023 with Ultimate Pool is only getting bigger and better. The Pairs Cup returns to Monday night with Gareth Potts and Mark Selby seeking to defend their crowns, along with some more blockbuster pairings new for this season's tournament. The Players' Championship begins and runs all the way through the summer weekend as the Ultimate Pool pros battle for supremacy in this long-form competition where the cream rises to the top. We've also got the return of the mini-series in July as the women and seniors get their chance on the main stage. In the autumn, it's the beginning of the Amateur Championships as we bid to find the UK's best amateur player in this one-of-a-kind competition. We'll finish the year with 2 more Ultimate Pool Series weekends, thousands of hours of live action with live tournaments every single week until Christmas. 8-Ball has never looked so good. Sign up now to never miss a ball at ultimatepool.tv. Ultimate Pool, the big names, the big games.
Don't go, so the loss of turn was definitely the big advantage for them there, if they could find a way to do it without giving anything away.
Oh, wow.
What a shot that is, though. Wow, shot of the night, no doubt about it.
Carl Cope smashes in the 8-ball. Dave Gilbert, the angry farmer, bangs in a long double. This is the Ultimate Pool app. The Ultimate Pool app. Unlock premium content with interviews and features from your favourite Ultimate Pool stars. Master the game with drills and tutorials from the best players in the world. And every event live. On up to 3 devices with TV casting enabled. Never miss a ball. Wherever you are, every single event is now live in the app. And with every event on demand, you can catch up on the all-time great matches with thousands of hours of action and content. There's live scoring, news, player profiles, exclusive competitions, giveaways, and so much more. You'll never miss a ball again. The Ultimate Pool app. The Ultimate Pool app. Download now from Google Play and the App Store.
Well, welcome back into the studio. One match down, and Neil Madigan has got the win. Congratulations. First points on the board. As you walked in, you said it wasn't pretty. It wasn't your finest stuff out there. But how tough is it sort of to get used to conditions and get into the tournament?
Yeah, it's very hard out there. It's very warm. People don't realise when you're in there. It's okay watching, but when you're in there, it's a totally different situation.
Yeah.
It's not easy, you know. But
I know that you've had experience out there before. You've obviously played in the pairs, but this is a different tournament, and obviously it's a long weekend of action. But how important to get off to a good start, and certainly good start in a match, good start in the whole group as well.
You just don't want to be you don't want to be kind of going under too much pressure at the start. It's a very hard format when there's a match clock and you're trying to get back into it from behind. Like I was saying, Kevin's a lot better than that, but I don't think he's used to the pressure of the shot clock and running around. I don't think anyone is unless you come here. You know, it's totally different. But, it's very important for a quick start.
I wanted to ask you about that because in that final frame there, you had an opportunity maybe to run the clock down a little bit more than you did. You were playing quite quickly, even though it was 15 seconds a shot. You have to play quickly, but you weren't using the clock as much as you could be from a position you're in. So is that a sort of an element that really is foreign to you and something you need to sort of learn?
I'm a quick player in general, but just like when you're out there, it's different. You don't want to be rushing and making too many mistakes. But to be honest with you, the shot clock would frighten the life out of you when you're not expecting it. So it happened to me a couple of times. I was taking shots, and next thing you hear the beep. I was just trying to make sure that didn't happen and just play the game and try and just if you miss, make sure it's safe and just don't look at the clock or think about it. But it's not easy.
Overall, though, how pleased that you've got the first points on the board. You can now settle in a little bit more, and obviously you put one of your opponents, Kevin, under pressure because he's got off to the slower start.
Yeah, it's very important. I'm just relieved. It's just to get the win first game. It's just get used to the table. I know I played in it in the Players Cup a few weeks back, but it's different when you're playing for yourself. Different kind of and last time there was an atmosphere just kind of it's very early in the morning, just trying to get going. It's a long day, so we're just glad to get a good start now, just to get the ball rolling, you know.
Yeah, it can be a strange feeling out there. The atmosphere in the arena and stuff is kind of quite a serious atmosphere compared to the pairs, where it feels a little bit more light-hearted, even though it's a major competition in its own right.
I get you. It's good fun with the pairs. It's a lot of people cheering on. With the singles, you're on your own.
Yeah,
it's a different kind of mentality. But just delighted to get the win. Like I said, Kevin's an Irish player. He's in the final next ranking event in Ireland. He's a lot better, and I'm sure it wouldn't shock me if he wins every game after this, you know.
Yeah.
It's just he's a lot better than that, but it's just hard to acclimatise the conditions in your first match. I think everyone will get better as the day goes on.
Obviously, we're back underway with our second match this morning. This is Greg Casey. He's taking on Scotsman Scott Kennedy. How well do you know Greg as well? Because obviously 3 Irish players in the field this week.
I know Greg through snooker years ago. We haven't really played much pool together or anything like that, but I'm from Limerick, he's from Cork, we're neighbouring counties. But he's more of a snooker player, but he's a fantastic at pool as well, you know. Usually we play a team event every year, but I haven't played in a long time. But we used to play every year, but a snooker event we'd always meet up. But this is an opportunity to meet him and have a pint or whatever afterwards. We don't see each other much anymore, you know.
A good chance to catch up. Obviously, you'll be battling out with him at some point as well throughout the weekend.
Yeah,
as well.
We're playing tomorrow morning at 11. I'd actually know Scott a lot as well through playing for Ireland. He was on the Scottish team.
Yes.
We've clashed heads a few times in team events just to get the win for the teams. We played 3 or 4 times. I'd know him a long time, yeah.
Yeah, we've certainly seen him a few times for Scotland. And it looks like he's going to have to sit and wait through this first frame. Greg Casey looks like he's about to run out the first frame. Neil, thanks for your time coming into the studio and having a chat. Best of luck when we see you back out there, which will be within a couple of matches' time.
I'll share Greg on, so thanks very much.
What a lovely start that was for Greg Casey then. Very smooth opening frame for him. This is our 3rd and 4th players this weekend. The other 2 players yet to get underway. They'll be playing in our next match. That's Toby Bolt and Bradley Parker. Well, that'll work as a break. Very nice indeed. Lovely split of the table as well. Parks the cue ball in the centre of the table. It's quite nice, and it was always eye-catching when it does that. So you got a little bump towards the end to send it to the cushion, but always fun when it comes back and stops like that. A sign of a very well-struck break. Looks like he's going to have to go yellows, because I don't think he's got an opening red. Certainly not one that he'll want to take on. He may have something down the table. But yellows aren't bad here at all, especially if he can naturally drift onto the one on the right-hand side cushion. Yeah, this is actually laid out quite nicely. Might help him. Depends on how he wants to go through it. You know, work out the order of these 3 in the bottom half, assuming he takes top right now and then uses right centre, just to try and make sure you don't allow the reds to become a blocker or leave a bad angle onto the 8 ball. We saw that in the previous match where it looked simple, but it can go wrong. And it would help if the 2 yellows in the middle of the table, if the right-hand one passes the other yellow into the left centre, which I believe it does, you could play down for the one bottom right now. And then you've got right centre and options from there. And you could go either way right centre here. It depends on which way he sees him, what angle he leaves. Okay to me. Drop this one in and just trickle to the straight, or maybe a turn past the straight. It's fine. A little bit surprised that he risked that going across the red, but it's worked out really nicely. Well executed shot. And another very nice finish, back to back to start this match. We saw in the opening match both players just finding their feet out there and a little bit more bits and pieces, whereas Greg has started very nicely indeed. Flying start.
Trading 2 frames to nil.
Crunch. How about that for a break? 8 ball. Ooh, it's not quite going to reach, but what a horrible leave for Scott Kennedy, who can't get into this match at the moment. And yes, he's made a ball, but that's where the good news ends. It's, if he can't see the yellow to top left, which I don't think he can, he has no safety either, which makes it, unless he's touching ball and he can try and use the jaws to get back to roughly where he is now, it's going to be hard for him not to. If he has to move the yellow he's next to, you almost can't get this safe. And I guess there is going to be a tricky yellow. Well, this is not too bad considering. Just didn't foul, which was important, and because short position on the yellow by the 8 ball would have made yellows absolute sitters. The reason I say it's not too bad is he hasn't really left a good yellow on. Yet the yellow by the 8 ball would be a problem anyway, and Reds have their own problems. Certainly going to make Greg Casey think about it. In the end, couldn't come up with anything. And very, very fortunate to keep the 8 ball on the table. That was all a bit. I don't know if that was rushed or not. He had an extension, so I shouldn't have rushed it. Maybe he's forgotten about the extension. Either way, it's given Scott Kennedy a chance to get into this match. Touch too much angle on this one, so has to play around with the red near the top right hand corner, float round it ideally. Could you screw across and use it perhaps? No, he tries to float round it. The problem with that is it was in such a narrow line. You go and continue on the path, it would have gone quite close to the yellow, but I like the way he's decided to just accept what he's got and take it bottom left. I like the idea of that, but the execution of the pot, no good. Delicate shot here. Cued nicely. And confident enough with the cue ball not to worry about that centre pocket. Just gets enough bite to avoid it. This is a really nice start from Greg Casey. Okay, yes. Run out of time in the first visit in this frame, but the clearance he's just made there, very nice. On the back of 2 clearances off the break, Greg Casey is off to a flyer here. Not quite as clean as his first break, but he'll take it. A little bit of a messy layout though. I think the red and the yellow at the bottom of the triangle area, I think that yellow passes the other yellow to the bottom right corner, actually making this a really good chance from here. Just come a little bit too far, but actually that might work as well, because if that yellow doesn't pass the other yellow, you've got the one by the 8 ball now. I quite like taking those two now. So take the one by the 8 ball, come back for the other one, and leave the one up the table as your last ball connection to the 8 ball. Needs this to go, needs to go. Ah, just a touch short. I wonder, can you play this yellow off the red, maybe? Where's the red going to go? You could pot it, obviously, but the cue ball's going straight into the red, so you could pot it and just screw off the red and just leave yourself a shot from distance to the top left-hand corner. He's a good cueist, so just give yourself a shot and expect to make it, especially with not having to do anything with the cue ball afterwards. Yeah, that'll work. He's actually got 2 good on it in terms of a touch 2 straight. Won't be able to get off the cushion for the 8 ball, but that'll work. Another very good visit to the table for Greg Casey. For me, his best in the match. That was very classy the way he's worked that one out. Excellent stuff from the Irishman, and he is flying along here. pressure really ramped up here on Scott Kennedy. He's had one frame where he could do anything, and unfortunately he wasn't able to take out the finish. And from here it's going to be tough, although we've seen in the Players' Championship and then obviously the first week of the Amateur Championships how important it is just to get some feel, some rhythm, something that you can take out the match, because whatever happens here, he's going to have 4 more matches left and he needs to try and put points on the board, even if he doesn't get anything out of this one. So for me, still a really important 15 minutes or however many frames are left in this match for Scott Kennedy to try and find something that he can take into his next match, which will be in 2 matches' time. Next up for us is Toby Bolt and Bradley Parker. Get to see them for the first time, and then Neil Madigan and Scott Kennedy will be in action together. So the action comes thick and fast for Scott. How's he going to deal with the one above the 8 ball? Oh, that will work. That will work. Do you take it delicate in the middle or long now? Probably. If it passes the 8 ball though, he doesn't need, if the red above the 8 ball passes it, and he can come across for the one in the middle of the table and leave the other one down the cushion, which is how he's played it, so it must go. That was a very good shot down the table from Scott, it really was. Could have done with a few more rolls on that one for me. I know the cue ball's tracking up the table, but I'd rather have the angle, the straighter shot, than be closer to the red here, because now the cue ball's tracking away from the 8 ball. So much so he's tried to go twice across. For me, it's the previous shot. Just go a foot higher up the table and leave that all but straight in. Greg's been caught out by the clock again, and we're only at the 30 seconds of shot phase here. We haven't quite reached the 15. He may be hoping he clears up here and then clears up again and gets us done in the next 3 minutes 20, so he doesn't have to worry about the 15, but no doubt about it, he's going to have to at some point this weekend. Not ideal. It's not worked really for Greg. It has given Scott another opportunity here, and it's a tricky pot on the red, but the important side of this is he's probably going to have to play a cannon on the 8 ball as well. No, not to be. Gives Scott Kennedy another opportunity here. Not much more he can do other than have a dip at the double or treble. But double to the middle's the shot for me. Brilliant. Brilliant shot that Scott Kennedy really needed. And with just over the 10 minutes left, Scott Kennedy does finally get himself on the board. Something to build on, you feel. And he could have feared at some point that his final shot in the match may have been over if that 8-ball had dropped in. And this was the beautiful shot he played earlier on in the visit. Such a shame he couldn't turn that into frame victory, but handed another opportunity here on this one. And nicely done. Could be an important frame for him, even if he can't turn this match around, but an important frame on his hopes of coming through this group for the Scottish International from Fife. He was part of the team of the championships at the World Championships back in 2017, which is a good achievement. One of the nice features they have at the WEPF World Championships. Crunch. That is a lovely break to watch, it really is. Could have been better layout though. The split was, or the break was brilliant. I enjoy watching that for the rest of the weekend, but you'll hope for better layouts than this. No future on reds, no opener on yellows. Not much of a future on yellows either, to be honest with you. But as we tick into the final 10 minutes and 15 seconds a shot, this is where being 4-1 in front is a major advantage, because Greg doesn't need to do anything here. Well, I say he doesn't need to do anything. That is rash. In terms of the match situation, he has just opened everything up and said, there you go, Scott, have a little dip at these yellows. Blame Greg for trying to be aggressive and make something happen, but match situation tells us that what you need to do there is keep it tight. If anyone's chasing a finish, it needs to be Scott, not Greg, in his position from his side of the table anyway. It's just invited pressure here. Left this one a long way short. I can tell he was a little bit worried about going too far, but he wanted to get to the straight. And that's cost him. He's now snookered because of that. What a chance Scott Kennedy has let go there. He really should have got out on that one. He was so careful on the one into the left centre. He left himself poor on the one right centre. He should have got out there and ramped the pressure up onto Greg Casey. Nice mop-up job from Greg Casey. Never really in doubt from the moment that Scott missed, but still nicely flowed through. It was a nice way for him to get used to the 15 seconds a shot. In maybe a less pressurized situation than perhaps it could have been or will be as the weekend goes on. 12 matches today we have for you, 6 here in the afternoon session before we pop away for a couple of hours. We'll be back tonight for 6 more matches from 6 o'clock, and then tomorrow morning from 11, 3 huge matches till we get to the final or complete our group of 6. That gets us through to our group of 4. Top 4 in the group go through, and they'll do it all again, play each other again tomorrow afternoon. Top 2 will go through to a group final tomorrow night. Everything will be 30 minutes races to 6, apart from the final, which will become a 3-set version of 30-minute races to 6. Very early stages here, but no doubt about it, from the 4 players we have seen, Greg Casey certainly standing out so far, certainly hit the ground running. And our next 2 players in action, Toby Bolt and Bradley Parker. I think there'll be a lot of people expecting quite a bit from Toby this weekend. Certainly the highest ranked player across the players with Ultimate Pool, that is. Good CV as well. He'll be in action very shortly. Good break, good split here for Scott. Key shot here, just get the transitional shot right. And that's perfect, absolutely lovely. Oh, he was perfect, and then rushed that one. I mean, the story for Scott Kennedy, obviously pressure put on with Greg taking the first 2 out off the break, but had a good chance in frame 3, didn't take it, and then the chances he's had since then have been good ones, and just lacked the touch or the precision required to get out and get the frames on the board. As good as Greg Casey's played here, it certainly feels like this could be 4-2, or even, you know, certainly on the balance of chances, 3-3. And now Greg has a chance to wrap the match up 6 frames to 1. Two pots away then. Purposely left loads of angle here just to drift down the right hand side of the table. A little bit of check side and perfect on the simple 8 ball. Very good start this one for Greg Casey. First event with Ultimate Pool, and he puts together a very good performance and a 6-1 victory over Scott Kennedy. Plenty more to come from both of those. Plenty more to come from us. Toby Bolt is in action next. He's taking on Bradley Parker. Join us again in a few minutes' time.
2023 with Ultimate Pool is only getting bigger and better. The Pairs Cup returns to Monday night with Gareth Potts and Mark Selby seeking to defend their crowns, along with some more blockbuster pairings new for this season's tournament. The Players' Championship begins and runs all the way through the summer weekend as the Ultimate Pool pros battle for supremacy in this long-form competition where the cream rises to the top. We've also got the return of the mini-series in July as the women and seniors get their chance on the main stage. In the autumn, it's the beginning of the Amateur Championships as we bid to find the UK's best amateur player in this one-of-a-kind competition. We'll finish the year with 2 more Ultimate Pool Series weekends, thousands of hours of live action with live tournaments every single week until Christmas. 8-Ball has never looked so good. Sign up now to never miss a ball at ultimatepool.tv. Ultimate Pool, the big names, the big games.
The balls fly in. What's the split like? That really adds to the terror for this shot.
This is a very tough shot.
And what a shot from Declan Brennan. Gives him the chance to win the title. Now has to hold himself together. They are all there.
He's lash yellow with a nice angle to land on the 8-ball because he's still a little bit covered at the moment. He has more room than it looks on the camera angle.
As a hush comes over the arena. It's Northern Irish glory once again. Last year it was Rona McCarthy. This year it's Declan Brennan. Well, welcome back into the studio here at the Amateur Championships. I'm now with our second winner of the weekend, Greg Casey. Congratulations. First time we got to see you out there and look very, very solid.
It wasn't too bad. I got settled early, which was probably a big part. I know Scott had a dry break first and second, but you know, you're just hoping that you get easy chances, but you still just have to take them. So I was delighted when I kind of dished the first and I had a good break. So I had 2 good chances before anything. So you can't really complain if you get good chances and you miss. It's your own fault. So I
guess though the way you took out your chances, because I think there was a couple in there really, really good ones. Obviously you gave yourselves a couple of good chances as well, but looked like you had full control of your game out there. Yeah,
I felt really good with, you know, the table is very reactive. So I was kind of like, as we were just chatting off air, I have a snooker background, so I was like, let your touch be the key. Yeah. Because you don't have to, like, the table is so reactive, you don't have to hit balls hard. So I just said, trust what you're practicing, trust what you're doing. And luckily it worked. So I got settled quick, which was big. I think in this format, you kind of have to settle down, don't you? Because the pressure shots are twice as hard if you're not settled, and they're a bit easier if you are settled. So I was really happy to get settled quick.
Yeah, you certainly, look very impressive from the commentary box as we get underway with our third match. Toby Bolt and Bradley Parker are underway. Obviously, first time we've got to see you, but what's been the biggest challenge for you? Was it the match clock or the shot clock, the sort of 30, because it looked like there was a couple of moments in the 30 seconds of shot where it looked a little bit hectic. So I was a bit worried about what the 15 would be like for you, but you dealt with that quite well.
I think you could probably see maybe 2 times. It just, it's like it sneaks up on you more than anything, because you're looking at your map and your finish, or you're trying to get, we'll say, like this yellow to this to get the black, or to give the easiest way, and then all of a sudden you're bleed. It's like, so you have a panic, and then you just kind of forget about it, especially when you get a bit relaxed, because I felt really relaxed towards the end, obviously, because I had a big lead, but like you just don't think, because especially for me, we never have this situation, we'll say back home, we just have, a guy with a phone or whatever, 30 seconds, and it just like I think it's like the blood rushes to you when the bleeps happen. So it's like, but I was really lucky not to pot the black in the frame.
Third frame, I think it was, yeah.
Because, as I said, I probably should have just played a safety shot, or like a dumb shot, and I was like, heard the bleeps, and I was like, just hit the red, get it done, let him go, and then all of a sudden the whole table was open. So you kind of have to manage yourself better than that as well.
Also, I think there's possibly the more you do it as well in terms of the clock management, because I think there was one shot at 4-1 up where you had a good break, but it came out horrible, and you decided to play quite an aggressive shot to open it all up, and in the end you opened it all up for Scott rather than just keep it tight and make him do the running. And
that's probably where you're right, as in, I think you learn as you're going along, but when you're watching the games, obviously you watch it a lot and you see it, and you kind of, sometimes you look and you go, why isn't he not slowing it down? And then other times you look and he's like, he just needs one good shot. But I think, like as you said, you kind of have to learn as you're going along. Maybe making a mistake or doing it is probably the best way, when you go, I shouldn't have done that. Like even I missed a black, I think Scott missed, and I missed the black down the cushion, but I played the black. The only way you could miss the black was the way I played it.
Yeah.
Like the black was on the cushion, so it was either a little roll or run inside. And like it's a very easy shot for a straight cueist, we'll say. I played like drag, and I was like, why did you drag?
Afterwards, immediately, what are you doing?
Yeah, like, and it's almost like heat of the moment, and you're just thinking, this, you're thinking it's fine, but then obviously if the match is 2 each and you do that, it's big, because you're giving the frame away. And to be fair to Scott, he played a good double after that, but like, I should have been really probably pulling the white back an inch, so he had no double. But I think all those things factor in, like, afterwards now when we go outside, if me and you were chatting, you say, you could have stopped him from even having a double. So it's kind of learning, but I'm delighted with that.
Yeah, you should be pleased with the way you played. I thought for somebody out there for the first time, it looked very, more than anything else, I look at the body language and it looked like you were very comfortable and actually enjoying it.
Yeah, I really enjoy playing. Like I love playing and competing, and when you, as I said, when you kind of start quick, it was like, it does take a bit of pressure off, but you're just, we're all practicing, for this all the time, so you're just hoping that you play well. But I think if you go out there and get settled quick, you can play well, because the table and the setup allows you to do that, because it's really responsive. Like, you don't have to, play crazy shots all the time, sometimes, but a lot of the time, if you just back yourself on the easier ones, it seems to give you a chance of getting out, or at least a shot of getting out.
Keep, especially, I guess, somebody coming from, because you've got a snooker background, just give yourself those shots to allow your queuing to do the work for you. And
it's just, it's almost, as you said, you're queuing. You just, like when you think of it, this is something that we do every day for, I'm probably playing like 20 years. So it's just basics, but it's at the time to remember to do it is the thing. But yeah, it was really good. As I said, my first time over, the setup is unbelievable, and you're just like, I'm buzzing now. I just can't wait to get back on. So it's
well, you will be back on in 2 matches time. In fact, you're taking on who have you got next? Let's look at the list. You're playing Bradley Parker, who's out there right now. So that's your next match in a couple of matches' time. So we'll let you shoot on and get yourself ready for that one. But really looking forward to seeing you back out there. I'm sure we'll see you back in the studio as well throughout the weekend.
Thanks very much. Pleasure to be in there.
1 frame to nil. Leading 2 frames to nil. Yellow balls and flags.
We are in for a fascinating battle here. Left centre blocks the 8-ball, but look at that top right-hand corner. Very good start in the match for Toby Bolt, who, as I said at the top of the show, probably has a number of people kind of picking him out as a good chance to come through this weekend. Certainly the highest ranked player of the players playing on the Challenger Series. Both Toby and Bradley are playing on the Challenger Series this year, and Toby is currently ranked 22nd, Bradley 177. The only other player playing on the Challenger Series this year is Scott Kennedy. He's 114 on the rankings. 3 Irish players, Neil Manigan, Kevin McQueenie and Greg Casey, who we just heard from in the studio, are not on the Challenger this year, so we don't have any recent form from them in terms of Ultimate Pool to go by. But from what we've seen from them so far, Greg Casey looks to be very sharp. Certainly, out of the 4 players we've seen, the sharpest player. Long, long way to go, though. Neither player wants to progress this frame at the moment. Very difficult. I wonder if there's an opportunity for Toby Bolt to play a turnover shot at some point top right. If he can do that and hide the white, then he may force an opportunity to go for the finish. Easier for him to deal with the red by the 8-ball than it is for Bradley to deal with the 8-ball by the red. For a loss of turn here. This is certainly progressing the frame now, and it's opening up the top right hand corner. It's what makes this rule set so fascinating. In rule sets of years gone by, that layout top right hand corner, you could have settled yourself in for a 45-minute tactical exchange, but that just can't happen in this rule set because eventually balls will start to be knocked in. For me, Toby's been in front in this tactical exchange, but it feels like it's evening up. I know that he's got more reds on the table and he's got the 8-ball covered, but he's not done too much to try and progress. It feels like the person trying to progress this frame and make something happen is Bradley. And maybe that's the plan from Toby. Toby is just being patient, and I've got this frame in a tactical advantage, and I'm going to let you try and hang yourself. It may well happen here. Bradley can make the yellow off the other yellow, but it won't go straight, so the other yellow will be moving, and then of course you need an angle to try and do something with the 8-ball. So in the end, just plays the loss of turn. Now, Toby can go. He can play this off the red or play the 3-ball plant, and everything's on. 3-ball plant is, so his patience has paid off. Now just has to back the queuing to get out. Oh, cue ball. Oh, very fortunate for Toby. The shot choice shows us how confident he is. Wasn't particularly good on that red, but wanted to leave red top left to connect to the one over left centre to get on the 8-ball, so wanted to deal with these two in the bottom half first. Struck it beautifully, but very fortunate for it not to drop into the centre pocket. And 3-0 it is. That frame used up a decent amount of the match clock, and it's a long way back now for Bradley Parker as we have a quick look at Toby from London. Been a national champion, London Open champion, been England international for many years as well. Was a pro on the black ball side of things for a little while as well, a couple of years ago. Stepped away from that now. And currently playing on the Challenger Series. Best run this year, semi-final right at the beginning of the year in January. And that's helped him get to 22nd in the rankings. Certainly a chance to be top 16 and potential professional status for next year, should he choose. Bradley needs to find something and find it quickly with only 12:21 left on the clock. Huge explosion on the break. Both his breaks have been huge. Keep an eye on that as we go through this weekend. Giving himself an opportunity, one you feel he needs to take. Look at that. 4 reds potted. Won't be going reds though, of course. Yellows will be the choice. Not the best of positional shots there for me. I would have probably wanted to get more to the middle of the table. Maybe try to play on the yellow to top right. The right hand one of those 2 yellows goes. I don't think the left one does, so get that one out of the way early, was my thinking. But you could leave it late, but you've got to land on it nicely. He's 2 in the bottom half as well, just awkward enough. Want to get to the right hand side of them, and not much angle here, probably just about enough. Big shot coming up now. Kind of put himself into a little bit of trouble unless he can get this one right. The good news is that he does have a line available. Try and come across the diagonal of the table. Beautiful shot. Slight grimace, left himself a bit hampered, but enough angle just to be able to punch this up. Yeah, nicely controlled. Red going in helps get that out of the way. Very good visit to the table when he needed it the most there for Bradley Parker. Just as we're about to get to that 10-minute mark and 15 seconds a shot, he needed something positive, and he's got something positive. Lovely break clearance, and he's on the board and up and running for the weekend. Not having the best of years on the Challenger Series is Bradley, currently ranked 177. But there are well over 300 players on that ranking list. It's not easy. We talk about it all the time, the Shark Tank of the Challenger Series, but you'd have hoped for more than that. Ranked 2 on the Region 7 EPA Tour, and on the BPPA American 8-Ball UK Open. Event I'm not familiar with, but sounds impressive.
Shot clock in play.
Toby leaving plenty of angle on this yellow because he knows he needs to come across to the right-hand side of the table. Plays it beautifully. Nice shot that. And this is a very good response to Bradley Parker winning his first frame. Just foot back down and take out the very next frame in the same fashion with the break clearance. Just catches himself enough to run the clock down a fraction as well, although doesn't bother using his extension, which he could have done. 4-1 in front now for Toby. Frustrating game. You make a break clearance to get yourself going and hope that you can build on it, and your opponent immediately responds with one of their own. Problem with starting 3-0 down, really. That slow start has not helped Bradley here, but 8 minutes 22. Can he do something to turn it around? I feel like he needs another break clearance, and he has a great chance to do just that. This is really nice. These reds are laid out well. Key being leave a good last ball onto the 8, which only goes bottom right, but he has some options for that. Every red has a pocket, whereas the yellow does have that one awkward one. Now, he did have a look at yellow to the one that's just above the left centre pocket. He had a quick look to see how he felt about playing that one off the red in left centre. And if he felt comfortable on that shot, then yellow's would have been a better layout, but can't argue with reds. So if he leaves the one left centre last ball, which he's coming, I thought he was going to take the one in the middle of the table, bottom left, so you have to play on the one on the right hand side. You wouldn't want that to be your last ball. He's missed it. Just got a little bit betwixt and between, couldn't make his mind up which way to go, and then the 15 seconds happens and you've got to rush it. It looks poor, but trust me, at 15 seconds a shot, if you don't commit, you can all of a sudden just end up nowhere. And missing balls that you wouldn't imagine. Toby has an angle if he wants to break out that yellow on the cushion.
Extension, please.
Very casually floated in from Toby. Looks very confident out there. And that should be, more than likely will be, the defining final blow for Bradley. Chance to get back. Another one on the board, and he let it go. It was a really good chance as well. And now, with the time remaining, it's a long, long, long way back from here. He'll be back in action though. Win or lose this match, he will be back in action in 2 matches' time, taking on Greg Casey. Toby Bolt will be back in 3 matches' time, taking on Kevin McQueenie. Every player will play 2 matches here in the afternoon session. So we've got 3 more matches to come after this one. 8 ball, just for a second. I thought that might be tracking. There is a prize for the most 8-ball breaks across the competition. Currently, we have seen 1. I said earlier on 2, but it's actually 1 that we've seen in the competition, and that was last week.
Extension, please.
Josh Gooderham against Christy Caulfield. The only one. Pretty sure 1 will not win that prize.
Red balls in play.
Might not have the best angle on the one by the 8-ball. Got to come down the table, but this is not the best angle down the table either. That's a much better shot than it looked. Just Still slightly awkward to get on the one underneath his body. Yellow's played quite big in the middle of the table here. Yeah, that was never really going to play. With 3 minutes and 12 seconds left, Toby may well beat the clock here and get to the 6-frame mark. Certainly we'll be expecting to in this visit. Been a very solid performance, really. Hasn't really put a foot wrong in it. And everything he needed to do. Punished the mistakes from Bradley Parker. Taken out his own first visit chances as well. Patient in the one big tactical exchange they had. And yeah, looks like he's a real threat to get through this group this weekend. And he's off to a very good start. 6-1 victory for Toby Bolt. And he gets the points on the board. We've now seen all 6 of our players this weekend. Victories for Greg Casey, Neil Madigan, and now Toby Bolt. Long, long way to go. But we have 3 more matches coming up this afternoon, next to which Scott Kennedy and Neil Madigan.
...2023 with Ultimate Pool is only getting bigger and better. The Pairs Cup returns to Monday nights with Gareth Potts and Mark Selby seeking to defend their crowns, along with some more blockbuster pairings new for this season's tournament. The Players' Championship begins and runs all the way through the summer weekend as the Ultimate Pool pros battle for supremacy in this long-form competition where the cream rises to the top. We've also got the return of the mini-series in July as the women and seniors get their chance on the main stage. In the autumn, it's the beginning of the Amateur Championships as we bid to find the UK's best amateur player in this one-of-a-kind competition. We'll finish the year with 2 more Ultimate Pool Series weekends, thousands of hours of live action with live tournaments every single week until Christmas. 8-Ball has never looked so good. Sign up now to never miss a ball at ultimatepool.tv. Ultimate Pool, the big names, the big games.
And now it's in Potts and Selby's hands, and it is wide open.
Well, these are the margins that we operate on at the top of any sport, and make no mistake, these 4 are at the top of this one. Mark Selby may have spent several years away, but still absolutely world class. They're not going to pot out, they're breezing through. They want to win it.
Don't time foul here. Don't time foul. Having a bit of a debate.
Here we go then. Gareth Potts and Mark Selby, 2 balls away. He's left him pretty horrible on it.
That's about as bad as he could have left it on it.
But if ever you needed someone to pot you a ball, how about Mark Selby? Never in doubt. This is the Ultimate Pool app. The Ultimate Pool app. Unlock premium. App Store.
Oh, welcome back into the studio. Our third winner of the morning session is Toby Bolton. He joins me now in the studio. Toby, congratulations.
Thank you.
Very solid performance that. There was kind of, you just did what you had to do and you were very, very sharp.
Yeah, I mean, for 4 or 5 frames, I think the balls were there all the time. So it was pretty simple. Like, he was just leaving me sort of finished where I had no work to do. So it was fine. There was a few tactical frames as well.
How big was I think it was frame 3, the tactical frame, and you kind of played the patient game, allowed him to almost hang himself, and from there you were kind of never really in danger in the match.
Yeah, I knew once he potted a few balls, like I think he had 5 balls, I thought once he pots 1 or 2, he's got 2-3 problems on the table, so him taking them out is like good luck to him if he gets them.
Yeah, no, sometimes quite often
Yeah.
good plan it really is to try and let players do that. Let's take a quick look at the table and just see the state of play now that everyone has played one match. Yourself, Greg and Neil have got the wins on the board so far, and everyone will play one more match in this morning afternoon session. You must be pleased to get off to a good start, because coming into a group like this, how important is the start for you to get up and sort of almost take pressure off yourself to try and get in that top 4?
Yeah, it's massive for me because I feel the more I play, the better I get. So if I can start well, that's why I'm probably not as consistent in tournaments as I should be, because there's always one game where I have a lapse or I start slowly. So I think this will allow me to get into it.
Yeah, well, it's a very good start indeed. Just to say, if you are watching this on Facebook, then we're going to be leaving you very, very shortly indeed. If you would like to watch the rest of the weekend or any of the action we got coming up on Ultimate Pool TV, which there is plenty of over the coming months, then come across and join us on Ultimate Pool TV. Use your promo code AC2, get a discount on your first month, and hopefully we'll see you over there. Toby, I want to quickly, as you're in the studio for the first time this weekend, and I'm sure we'll see you plenty of times more, but I want to sort of touch on the Challenger Series. We're often talking about how tough it is on the Challengers because there's just so many players, and you're a player that has been there or thereabouts during the Challenger Series. You're up there in the rankings, but how tough is it to sort of go into those tournaments knowing that it's deep, isn't it? You're going to have to just go match after match.
Yeah, you just got to take it game by game. It's tough because